안녕하세요, 여러분. Welcome to KSTYLEyo for another live streaming. Today we're gonna be learning Korean language through reading an article. I have picked this article on the naver.com. This is news.naver.com. You can find the link in the description box to read the full article today. So this article is about ketogenic diet and what is the good fruit to eat. I don't know if you guys ever heard ketogenic diet, and this has been very popular in the Western world, maybe last 5 years, let's say. But I think it's becoming more popular in South Korea. So I'm looking at this article, and I thought that maybe it'd be interesting to learn some new vocab about nutrition and food and how it's working in the ketogenic diet. Welcome everyone, come on in. Please have your pen, paper and dictionary ready. This is a highly interactive learning. So I'm gonna ask you questions. You need to answer them in the live chat. Don't worry about making mistakes because we're all here to learn together. So get your pen and paper ready and let's get started. 안녕하세요 여러분, welcome. Thank you so much for joining the live chat. Alright, so this article is pretty simple. I have picked 5 sentences. Let's say 3 of them are pretty easy and 2 of them are a bit complicated. We're gonna get to the simple one first and a little bit longer, and then the third one is the most complicated part. And then go back to the simple, and then we're gonna finish up a bit of an intermediate level. So let me know if you can see it well. Excellent. So this is the first sentence that I have picked. 한번 읽어봅시다. 최근 저탄수화물 다이어트가 많은 이들에게 관심을 받고 있다. 최근 저탄수화물 다이어트가 많은 이들에게 관심을 받고 있다. 다시 천천히 읽어볼게요. 최근 저탄수화물 다이어트가 많은 이들에게 관심을 받고 있다. What words can you hear? Is there any word that you're already familiar with? For those who are joining the live streaming for the first time, S means orange is the subject, object pink, verb blue, M is miscellaneous work, green color. I'm gonna underline each word. If you have any questions, just leave the questions in the live chat. So, 그럼 동사를 한번 찾아보세요. Try to look for the main verb. 동사가 뭡니까, 여기서? 주요 동사는 항상 어디에 가 있죠? 마지막에 있습니다. 그렇죠. 주요 동사는 마지막에 있어요. 그래서 있다라고 생각할 수도 있지만 사실은 고 있다. 이거는 문법입니다. Grammar. Which grammar is this? This is what? ing tense. Okay, progressive tense, right? ing. So 받다 is the main verb here. 받다, which is to get. To get or receive. 그렇죠? 그러면 주어는 뭡니까? 주어. 주어는 subject. Do you see subject particle here? 가? Possibly. That is the subject because this is such a short sentence. 저탄수화물. 저 means low. 탄수화물이 뭔지 아세요? 한번 찾아보세요. 탄수화물은 carb, low carb. Diet. This is the same word as English, diet. Low carb diet is receiving. Receiving what? 이게 보이시나요? 목적어, object, particle, 을. So this subject is receiving this object. 관심이 뭡니까? 나 너한테 관심 있어. I'm interested in you. 네, 난 너한테 관심 있어. 관심, interest or attention. Okay? So low carb diet is receiving a lot of receiving attention to, or 이들에게. From makes more sense. Receiving interest from, maybe either to, because 에게 can be to. I don't know if it makes sense in English. A lot of people, either these people, but in this case you can interpret it as people. A lot of people. 그러면 최근밖에 안 남았네요. 여기서 최근은 뭡니까 그럼? 최근, recently. Sometimes you're gonna see a particle, 최근에. 같아요. 최근 저탄수화물 다이어트가 많은 이들에게 관심을 받고 있다. Recently, low carb diet is receiving interest to a lot of people. Or let's say attention. Receiving attention to a lot of people. 그럼 이 뜻은 인기가 있다는 거죠. So it's getting popular to many people. 그래요. Expressing interest. I think it's more like getting attention. 1번은 좀 쉬워요. 그러면 2번으로 가볼까요? 이제. So basically, you know, ketogenic diet, if you don't know what it is, it's a low carb diet. But it's not just about low carb. Actually, there is a specific ratio that you need to follow, which we're going to talk about today. 그러면 다음은 어디 있습니까? 잠깐만요. 하는 이들은 여기 있습니다. 여기 있어요. 저탄고지 다이어트를 하는 이들은 과일을 금지식품이라고 생각할 수도 있다. 저탄고지 다이어트를 하는 이들은 과일을 금지식품이라고 생각할 수도 있다. 한 번 더 천천히 읽어볼게요. 저탄고지 다이어트를 하는 이들은 I pause here. 과일을 금지식품이라고 생각할 수도 있다. 그냥 보통 일반 속도로 제가 읽으면 저탄고지 다이어트를 하는 이들은 과일을 금지식품이라고 생각할 수도 있다. 그러면 동사가 어디 있습니까? 동사를 찾아보세요. 이것도 1번 문장이랑 비슷해요. 왜냐면 마지막이 동사라고 생각할 수 있지만 이게 문법일 수도 있어요. 그쵸? 이거 알아요? 알 수 있다. 이거는 문법이죠. can. having to makes it, I usually interpret it as could. 네. 수도 있다. could. has a bit of possibility. 그러면 주요 동사는 뭡니까? 이겁니다. 생각하다. 생각하다가 뭔지 알아요? 찾아보세요. 사전으로 찾아보세요. 생각하다. 이거는 to think. 그쵸? 생각하다. 그러면 who thinks what? 주어를 찾아보세요. Subject particle. I see this particle, but as you know, you need to understand when you use subject particles, object particle, the word that comes before the particle has to be a noun. This is a verb. 하다 verb. 그쵸? 그래서 이거는 subject particle이 아니에요. 이거는 아니에요. 이겁니다. 이들. These people. People and then the rest of it before either could be adjective clause. So these people could think that and then the rest. 그러면 처음부터 시작합시다. 저탄고지. They just used one syllable from each word. 저, low, 고, high. Okay? 탄 is the word from 탄수화물. We just talked about 탄수화물. 탄수화물이 carb. 그쵸? 지는 뭐일 것 같아요? 지. G. Can you guys guess? G is the syllable from which word? Low carb, high what? G is the word from 지방. 지방이 뭔지 알아요? Low carb, high fat. 지방은 fat. Diet. 이게 뭐냐면 키토제닉 다이어트예요. Low carb, high fat. 다이어트를 하는. So this is the object, right? Object related to this verb, adjective. So this part is the adjective clause describing either. So the people who do low carb, high fat diet. 이해하세요? People who do low carb, high fat diet. 과일을. This is object particle. 과일은 fruit. 과일. 금지식품. Banned. Rachel already said banned food product. 맞아요. Ban, 금지 means ban. Or prohibit, you can say. Prohibited food product. 식 has meaning of food. 품, product. 이라고, reverb and quotation. They could think that. But this grammar is a little awkward. You know why? Because we see two objects here back to back. You could use 이, 과일이. Technically, you could use this one as 과일이. So these people could think that fruit is the prohibited food product. But since they used object particle, we're gonna interpret it a little different way. These people could think of this. the people could think of fruit as banned product. 금지하다 맞아요. To ban. 금지하다. So you're gonna, like I mentioned, think of fruit as the banned, prohibited food product. Okay, let's go back and read the whole thing. These people who do low carb, high fat diet could think of fruit as the prohibited food product. Why? 왜냐하면 과일은 탄수화물이 많은 걸로 알려져 있죠. Fruit has a lot of carbs and sugar. So what they're saying is that they could think that way. So it leads you some clue that maybe fruit is not as bad for ketogenic diet. Maybe that's what they're saying. 이해하시죠? 그러면 다음 문장. 다음 문장은 솔직히 진짜 어려워요. 이게 가장 어려운 문장이에요. 좀 길어요. Can you guys see this sentence well? If you cannot see it, I'm gonna adjust the ratio a bit, okay? But let's read it first, and then after that I can maybe adjust the ratio of the page. 이겁니다. 이 문장. 여기서부터 시작해요. 저탄고지 다이어트의 대표 주자인 키토 다이어트는 몸이 탄수화물보다는 지방을 연소하는 상태가 되도록 강제하는 케토시스 상태로 만드는 것이다. 다시 읽을게요. 저탄고지 다이어트의 대표 주자인 케토 다이어트는 몸이 탄수화물보다는 지방을 연소하는 상태가 되도록 강제하는 케토시스 상태로 만드는 것이다. How do I do to learn more vocabulary? Oh, good question. But the thing is that here is a question for you. Would you rather learn a lot of vocabulary and don't know how to use it? You probably want to learn vocab in order to use them in the sentences. So best thing for you to learn vocab is actually learning the sentences. Like this. Or you can watch, K-drama movies and figure out how they're using those vocabulary too. Because if you're learning vocab just in dictionary, you actually have no clue how to apply those words into sentences. So I think reading is actually the best way. And by reading an article, just one article, you're gonna find so many vocab. It's actually overwhelming. It's too much, actually. So you can organize your vocab, but make sure you write down what format of the word is. Make sure to write down noun, verb, adjective, otherwise you're gonna get lost. Okay, so here, maybe I'm gonna increase a little bit because this is slightly a long sentence. Maybe this is slightly better. Okay. 다시 읽어볼게요. This is a very long sentence, so I'm gonna read again. 저탄고지 다이어트의 대표 주자인 케토 다이어트는 몸이 탄수화물보다는 지방을 연소하는 상태가 되도록 강제하는 케토시스 상태로 만드는 것이다. 그러면 동사가 뭡니까? 동사. Even though this sentence is super long, but it's easy to find the main verb because main verb goes at the end of the sentence. 그쵸? 그러면 동사가 뭐예요? 누가 맞힐 수 있습니까? 이다입니다. 이다. Be verb. Long sentence and then okay. Main verb was just be verb. 이다. So object. Be verb in Korean is used with what? Object noun. So this is the object noun. God. Main object. Right? Isn't it funny? 그러면 subject. 주어는 뭡니까? Let's look at subject particles. 은는 이가. I see the first 는 possibly. This is keto diet, which is a noun. So this is a subject particle. I see another subject particle. This is what? 몸이 뭐예요? This is a noun as well. Body. So yes, this is subject particle. 는. Is this subject particle? Is this a subject noun? 아닌 것 같아요. 왜냐면 보다는 compare, than. 그쵸? So this is comparison particle. 그러면 는 here is this subject particle. You have to think, is this a noun? Is this a noun? No. 연소하 is actually a verb. 연소하다. So this is verb adjective describing what comes after. 그러면 is this subject particle? 가. 상태 condition. 그쵸? Condition. It's a noun. So it is subject particle. How about the next 는? Is this subject particle? This is not a noun, right? It's a verb. 강제하다. So, you know, this is verb adjective describing ketosis. 강제하다. 찾아보세요. 이거는 force. Force. How about this one? We have the last 는 here. Is this subject particle? 아니요. 만드. This is actually from a verb. 만들다. To what? To make. 만들다 becomes 만드는 as a verb adjective describing cut. 그러면 so far we have found how many subject nouns here in this sentence? We found 3 subject nouns, but we need to figure out what the main subject noun is related to main verb. Okay, so either keto diet is or body is, or condition is. You guys can take a guess. Okay, you can take a guess and then we're gonna go through together. So starting from the first word here, 저탄고지, we already talked about. Low carb, high fat. Okay, G is from 지방. Low carb, high fat diet. This is possessive, apostrophe S. So you don't pronounce it as 의, you pronounce it as 에. 저탄고지 다이어트의 대표 주자. So this is actually object. Main. Think of it as a main leader. 대표 주자. In. This is also verb adjective. This is from 이다. To be. That becomes adjective. Describing keto diet. Keto diet. 그쵸? 그러면 this part is adjective clause. Keto diet that is. Low carb, high fat diet main leader. Keto diet that is. Low carb, high fat diet main leader. 이해하시죠? And then this part. Body, 탄수화물보다는 지방을 연소하는. So we have to figure out if this subject noun is related to either this verb or another verb. So body burns. Body burns. 연소하다. This means to burn. Okay? Body burns or body is. Right? But let's look at here. Body 탄수화물보다는 carb than. 지방을 fat. Body burns fat more than carb. Does it make sense? 괜찮은 것 같아요? Body burns fat more than carbs. Describing 상태. 그쵸? 그러면 this part is the adjective clause for 상태. Condition. Where body burns fat more than carb. 되도록. 되다. 이게 뭐예요? 되다가 동사죠. To become. In order to. Okay. This 도록 is in order to. Are you guys following? So 상태, this is related to either 강제하다 or 이다, right? Condition forces, or it could be actually become, condition become. Okay, so this becomes a little bit more complicated. You know why? Because you need to understand 되다 verb, you cannot have an object now. So, most likely condition is related to this verb, 되다. But in English, you may look at this one, 상태, as an object. 저는 가수가 될 거예요. Let's say, 저는 가수가 될 거예요. I 가수가 singer what 되다. I'm going to become a singer. In English, you may think of this one as an object. In Korean, we have to use subject. Okay? So 상태 here, even though it looks like a subject in Korean, you may interpret it as object in English. In order to become, the condition. Okay? 강제하다, force, describing ketosis. Condition. Ketosis condition that forces in order to become the condition where body burns fat more than carb. So this is the adjective describing ketosis condition. I think I'm gonna include all the way here because this is a sub-adjective clause describing 상태. Here ketosis condition is okay? 만드는 것이다, making thing, right? So think of it as just making. Whew, we've gone through each word, but we're still not sure what the hell this means, right? Okay, keto diet, that is the main leader of low carb, high fat diet is making, we don't know what they're making, maybe making something as ketosis condition that forces in order to become the condition. What condition? Where body burns fat more than carbs. Which means when you're in a ketogenic diet, when you're on a ketogenic diet, overall, I think you eat high fat and then low protein actually too, because maybe medium protein. We're gonna get through the ratio later. But when you eat too much protein, that ends up becoming too much carbs too. If you don't burn enough energy, I guess that turns it into excessive energy too. So you have to follow the ratio. So high is fat, and then protein, and then carb. But when you're following the ratio, you end up being in a condition that's called ketosis condition. Okay? Your body enters ketosis condition. Once you enter that condition, that forces the body to burn more fat, inner fat, the stored fat more than the carbs. So that's how people lose so much weight. Actually, my husband did ketogenic diet 5 years ago, okay? Like a while back. He lost so much weight. It was insane. He became a complete different person. I wanted to share the photos like before and after, but I'm not like promoting ketogenic diet, but because, you know, some people may like it, some people may not. Depends on your lifestyle too. because you have to really spend time researching what kind of food you need to intake, and for me it's too much headache. I wouldn't do ketogenic diet. But depends on your lifestyle, I guess. But it did work on my husband. He lost a lot of weight. Anyway, this is a really complicated sentence. 근데 다 이해하셨어요? I can already say many things using grammar. Almost I can say everything I want. That's good. 그래요? Excellent. 질문 있으시면 지금 하세요. 없으시면 4번으로 넘어갑니다. 4번으로 가요. 진짜 쉽죠, 이거는. After doing number 3, everything else is so much easier. 그러면 이거는 어디 있습니까? 여기 있습니다, 문장. 보이시나요? 읽어볼게요. 키토 다이어트는 보통 하루에 50g 이하의 탄수화물을 섭취하도록 한다. 키토 다이어트는 보통 하루에 50g 이하의 탄수화물을 섭취하도록 한다. 케토 다이어트는 보통 하루에 50g 이하의 탄수화물을 섭취하도록 한다. 그럼 동사가 뭡니까? You may think again. 하다 might be the main verb, or it could be part of a grammar. 도록 하다. I don't think we have encountered this many times. Maybe this is the first time. We've gone through a lot of live streaming, but this may be actually one of the first time that we're seeing it. 도록 한다. 도록 하다. If you look it up, you may think of it as make sure. Make sure to do something. Make sure to do what? This verb. 섭취하다. So, I don't know if I want to consider this portion as the main verb or this one. What do you guys think? Try one's best. Can you give us more example, Tiffany? And then the subject, this one is very easy. It's a short sentence. Keto diet, make sure to 섭취하다. 이거는 intake. Intake what? Object. 하나 있어요, 하나. Carb, which we know. 진짜 쉽죠? Keto diet, make sure to intake carbs. But what kind of carbs? This is possessive. Okay? Possessive. Or you can think of it of. Okay? Carbs of how much? 보통. Average. 하루에. This is time particle. 하루, a day. 좋은 가수가 될 수 있도록 하겠습니다. Okay. I will make sure to become a good singer. Okay. I guess it depends on how you want to interpret it. Make the best out of that ability. But make sure in that case that you also gave examples, make sure it worked. I will make sure. So I will try my best. That's what you're saying. I try my best to become a good singer. I make sure to become a good singer. I guess it depends on how you want to interpret it. So 하루 is a day. 그쵸? 50g. I used Chinese number system. 50 gram. The same thing as English, gram, right? 50 grams, 이하가 뭐죠? 이하, below. The opposite word, above, 이상입니다. So keto diet makes sure to intake carbs of average a day 50 grams below. For me, I never check grams when I eat food. I just check what nutrition I get. I think that's actually good enough for a lot of people. I guess normally people don't check what nutrition they're getting. Do you ever look at the back of the package, what kind of food you're getting? Because for me, I used to be obsessed with counting calories when I was in South Korea, because everybody is so obsessed with beauty. They want to lose weight, they want to look fit and fashionable, right? Other than doing the cosmetic surgery, they want to check the calories. But I realized that checking the calories don't really mean much. If you're eating 100 calories of really bad processed chocolate cake versus 100 calories of really healthy food with good nutrition, this is way better than having the processed chocolate cake, because the body has a hard time to digest one or the other, and you're not gonna get much nutrition for your body, right? And also burning the calories depends on what kind of nutrition you get. You can burn more fat, you can have a high metabolic rate. But I'm not a doctor. As you guys know, I don't know much about it, but that's how I do. But for ketogenic diet, you need to check grams of carbs. It's very specific, because if you go over the quantity of carbs, your body goes outside of the ketogenic condition that we just talked about in number 3. You want to make sure your body maintains the ketosis condition so that it burns more fat than carbs. But if you go over this gram, your body throws out of the condition. So for this diet, it's very tricky. 그러면 이거 마지막 문장입니다. 마지막이에요. 일반적 어디 있습니까? 여기 있습니다. 이거 보이시나요? 일반적 케토 다이어트는 섭취 칼로리의 약 75%를 지방에서 20%를 단백질에서 5%를 탄수화물에서 얻는 것을 이상적으로 본다. 일반적 케토 다이어트는 섭취 칼로리의 약 75%를 지방에서 20%를 단백질에서 5%를 탄수화물에서 얻는 것을 이상적으로 본다. 다시 천천히 읽어볼게요. 이게 마지막 문장입니다. If you want to study the full article, like I said, the link is in the description down below. You can study on your own. 일반적 케토 다이어트는 섭취 칼로리의 약 75%를 지방에서 20%를 단백질에서 5%를 탄수화물에서 얻는 것을 이상적으로 본다. As you noticed, in Korean sentence, you may see more of the comma. In English, you probably want to make sure to add a comma at the end. At the end as in the one before the last one, right? That's like the correct way to write. But in Korean, I never learned in school when to put it. I think we just put it. If you feel like. If you feel like you have to pause, you just put comma. Okay. 그러면 동사가 뭡니까? 이거 보이시나요? 보다. 보다. see. see. 쉬워요, 이거는. 그러면 주어는 뭡니까? Subject particle. I see one here. I don't see it. I don't see it. another는. Is this subject particle? 그런데 is from a verb. 얻다. obtain. Describing cut. So this is verb adjective. 그렇죠. 그러면 subject is just this. Keto diet sees what? Keto diet sees. You see a lot of 를 here and also here, 을. I think this is all valid object now. However, this is the main. We'll find out why. Keto diet sees the thing. The thing ideally. 이상적으로. 이상적으로 is ideally. 그러면 여기서부터 할게요. 일반적. Sometimes you're gonna see as 일반적으로, generally. Generally. 일반적으로 케토 다이어트는 섭취, 이거 배웠어요 이미. 섭취, intake. 칼로리가 똑같아요. calorie. possessive. 섭취 칼로리에. You pronounce it as 에. 약이 뭡니까? 약. I should probably make a video about this. Maybe. This week. I should make one for this week. 약. Make a note of that. 약은 approximately. 그쵸? approximately. 75%. In English, percent or percentage. In Korean, how did I read it? We could read it as a percent. Okay? Percent. However, how did I read? 프로. 그쵸? 75%. Normally I use this one. It's more common for me. Maybe others use percent. I say 프로. 75%를 지방에서 from fat. 이거 이미 배웠어요. So what they're saying is intake calories approximately 75% from fat, and 20% from what? 단백질, protein. 5% from carbs. Okay? Generally, keto diet sees this. What the thing is. The thing that obtains 75% from fat, 20% from protein, 5% from carb of intake calorie. 이해하세요? So 75 fat, 20 protein, 5 carb. Wow. Who can do this diet? You have to have fat twice more than protein, even like 3 times more than protein. So mostly fat. But healthy fat, not the junk food, right? 다시 해볼게요. Generally, keto diet sees the thing that obtains. So you can even say obtaining technically, because this is like the way to make a verb into a noun, right? Sees obtaining 75% from fat, 20% from protein, 5% from carb of intake calorie, ideally. 누가 할 수 있습니까? Keto diet. 재밌었죠? Hopefully this video was useful for learning something about ketogenic diet, and as well as also learning Korean language. And you get to learn about how how this diet is becoming more popular in South Korea. Since they're talking about it, it must be more popular than ever. But basically, this topic of this article was about you don't have to be afraid of eating fruit ever because you're on ketogenic diet. Actually, they describe more of what kind of fruit you could have being on ketogenic diet, I guess. So they talk about lemon, watermelon, 수박, 딸기, strawberry. So you can read more if you're curious. But obviously, anything that you eat, you have to count the intake calories for ketogenic diet. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If it was useful, make sure to smash the like. It really means a lot to me and helps the channel to grow. And hopefully you enjoy the rest of the day. If you have any questions after live streaming is over, make sure to leave them in the comment down below. Then I see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time again. Then until then, 그럼 감사합니다.